Hi guys, welcome to Potato Sack's basic guide here for TWs. Uh, just giving you guys, the phases, letting you know about ruling house, how influence works, and even down to prestige and fief quests. That way, you have a basic understanding of how territory wars work, as well as give you ideas for strategies on playing on the map itself. So let's get right into it here. Now, with wartime, it always starts, and this is going off of, I'm using these times off of Eastern US time. I think it's GMT -5 or 4. Um, so with that, we'll use our very first example, which is the three phases of TW. The first phase is the setup phase. In the setup phase, all you do is make sure that the fief that you have either declared on or getting ready to hit, that you have influence. Now, you can only hit resource nodes in this time from 8:30 to 9 if you are actually declared on that fief. Like these cohorts here on Zandon, they are declared so they can hit our resource nodes of the trading post, Pine Logging Camp, and Magnetite Iron Mine. The next part of that is securing the influence. So say your house wants to hit Zandon, but the cohort's already decked on it. Cohorts automatically start with 300, and whenever you declare on a fief, you automatically start with 100. So there's a 200 influence difference. So how do you combat that? Well, for example, all these resource nodes, every single one has the influence that they currently have. And I say currently because the rarity of the fiefs, of the resource nodes, do change. So this gray logging camp, by the time in 8 hours, uh, it could be purple for all we know. So it could have a different fief value. So as you plan stuff out, you want to kind of do it close to TW as far as how you want to hit resource nodes. But with that, like I said, there's a 200 influence difference for the cohorts. And with that, looking around, so the trading post right now is also tied with the Magnetite Iron Mine for 200 influence. So to hit Zandon instead of the cohorts in that first 8:30 to 9 half an hour, you must take either the trading post Magnetite Iron Mine or just two of these resource nodes at minimum because you want to get over 300. If you get 300 as well as the cohorts, it's just a mechanic. Cohorts, the tie goes to cohorts. So you want to get more than 300 influence so that you can get the ruling house. Now, ruling house, just like the war deck does, you get to set what is the battle settings. When you have the ruling house on it at 9 o'clock, the ruling house is determined. But any time that a fief is not being attacked and off peace cooldown, it will refresh whoever has ruling house. So you got to keep influence if you do multiple attacks. So with these battle settings, you can set your alliance only, ours in friendly alliances, so your blue tags, anyone but hostile, so that's the neutrals, add neutral and above, or all players. And it comes down, tells you, which select which day you'd like to have it declared for, because it's only for one territory war. Your minimum house level required to declare on it. The cost versus how much your house has, and your maximum number of fiefs is 10 to target, and how many you have currently targeted. So, when you get ruling house pretty much you can bar any other house or alliance from attacking the same fief as you, making it not an honor raise. Uh, so it makes it a lot easier for organization, get a nice orderly attack on fiefs, especially cities, and get the land that you want to and be able to contest it. Now, with up here in Maoyang, for an example, cohorts are decked on Kangxi here. The only resource node in this area is the trading post, which is 200. So potato. If the maximum influence you can get with the resource node is 300, why bother, right? Well, you can build what is either a field camp, which you can, it takes 5 minutes to deploy. The second it is deployed, you need to pretty much defend it. Um, it can be attackable as soon as it spawns. It takes 5 minutes for it to fully deploy, and once deployed, you can heal. You can buy blue and green already with silver, all kinds of stuff, and it gives 50 influence. So that would give you 350. You'd be over the cohorts, and you'd be able to make an attack. Now, there's also an outpost, which is purely just a giant stick of influence. It also takes 5 minutes to deploy, and it grants 500 influence. You can't heal at it. You can't do anything other than gain influence, and it must be placed within the border of the tile. Usually, outposts and field camps need to do it pretty much right next to the fief. So if you try going all the way over here, it comes up with an error message. You pretty much got to be right next to it, unfortunately. But that would be the only ways to kind of counteract these kind of city. Or I know there's a couple forts that are like that, so it's very like I know Fort Warsun has 0, I believe, and you literally have to put an outpost to contest the cohorts over there. So with that being said, that's pretty much the whole first phase is just securing the influence to be able to attack the place. If you don't have, say, your small house, you don't have prestige to spend to declare on thieves, you pretty much go the great value route, and you pick war targets, different thieves that aren't declared on. If a fief is not declared on, you can freely hit it as you wish. But you got to remember, there is no ruling house, even if you hit it. You have to declare to gain ruling house. So you can't bar anybody else from joining. So say like Narth isn't decked and you go to Narth and 10 of your guys go in to start attacking it. 5 completely randoms can come in and do whatever they want on your attacking side. So you got to keep that in mind. Ruling house is really nice, so you can just have your house and alliance in that fight versus possibly having other people trying to do what's on a race and kill more stuff than your house does and take the fief, because at the end of the battle, once the end point is capped, whoever has the highest percentage of honor gets the fief. Whether if you have 49% and the other house has 51, the other house gets it because they have that 2% on you. So with that, that's basically how it works in the first phase for influence, ruling house, and honor racing. Into the second phase, which is 9 p.m. to 10 Eastern. Now, how that is pretty much the main battle phase. So the fiefs themselves actually open up. You can attack them. So say you have influence on Seba, you attack. You have the battles are half an hour, so 30 minutes generally, unless one side or the other caps the other's home points early. In the event that a house successfully defends a fief, there is what's called a peace timer. And for a defensive victory, it's a 6 minute peace timer. Absolutely nobody can attack it for that 6 minutes. And for the attackers, if you conquer, short way of saying it, winning on the attacker side, then you get a 10 minute peace timer. A lot of the endgame houses kind of like playing the time, especially since you want to get as least amount of fights as possible. Usually, especially on the end game, you kind of a lot of your players are scattered and spread thin because that's just a general tactic that a lot of people do, and you know it's good to know, hey, your guys can cap this at any second. You can either hold off on capping home and just keep killing the AI, or you can just cap it out, However, it's up to the leaders at that point. Um, a lot of it is strategy based. You can hold the timer and not cap and just block the spawn if you'd like. There's a lot of different strategies. Again, so just keep that in mind. 10-minute timer and 6-minute timers. Um, so at minimum, you can get 2 hits on. At say SIBA, for example, minimum 2 hits. First half an hour, you still have influence for the second half, then you can still hit it again. Now, during that time, like I said, if you have ruling house or there's nobody decked on it, you can freely hit the fiefs themselves, the cities, the villages, the forts. Uh, yeah, that's basically how the second phase works. And the very last third phase uh, is the overtime phase. That's what everybody really calls it. Um, all it is you can't start any new battles on fiefs after 10, for me, 10 p.m. Eastern, because I'm Eastern US, and no battles can be started. But the battles that say drag on past, they say, you attack Siba at 9:45, you have a half an hour, so it should end at 10:15, right? It allows you to keep fighting past the 10 o'clock time limit that fiefs can't be, new battles can't be started, but you can finish fights. So at max, TWs last till 10:30 at max. And so during that time, usually you'll see alliances and houses, um, converge on the last remaining fights. It's going to be a lot of fielding. There's going to be, a lot of hard fought last minute pushes because people have a lot of their players consolidated into one area, and yeah, it's a power struggle on that last half an hour finishing up fights. But that's basically it. I mean, there's prestige. Like for example, when you go to declare, like I said earlier, it tells you the cost of it. Now, how to get prestige is by doing fife quests. So we'll use Siba here as an example. Fife quests give you individually honor, house experience, which level gets your house level up so you can attack cities, as well as prestige. Now, you see quest reward and other reward. So if you own that fief, so because my alliance owns Siba, not only do I just get the quest reward, but I also get the other reward. If it's not green to you, then you will not get other rewards. You also get the Fife Storehouse reward. Fife Storehouse is right here, the building material used for upgrading cities and villages, as well as the weekly upkeep. So Fife quests are super important. If you don't do them, then you can't attack cities or villages or attack just stuff and get ruling house. You just have to go for the stuff that's not decked on. Um, and as far as that goes, you know, it's just at the end of the day, five quests are super important. You want to get the ruling house. You make it as easy as possible for you guys to get in, get a full-fledged hit. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much how TWs work on the basic level. Um, I can possibly do VODs in the future going over previous TW fights and how the map plays out, do, map strategy and stuff like that. But for now, this is just a basic guide to get, you, the viewer, on the know how to run TWs if you're a up and coming small house leadership, or just to get a better grasp of TW and, while your leadership is telling you to do things a certain way. So with that, guys, I hopefully this has informed you a decent amount about TW so that you feel confident going into territory wars. Um, so if it did help, like, comment, subscribe. Definitely open to criticism. This is all not even scripted, just off the top of my head. Um, but yeah, if you enjoyed it, again, like, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all for watching, and we'll catch you next time on another guide. Cheers.